Hey, how's it going? Dustin Tibbetts with jazzWealth, your financial advisor. If you need some help with that, you need help with your investments, check us out at jazzWealth. Happy to help you there. Happy Friday, everybody that's joining us as you're coming in here. We're going to do this sort of short. I want to play a game today. I'm going to ask you one question in a minute, or I'm going to ask you two questions. And I want to see if you get one of them wrong because I got this one question wrong. So if you're watching this afterwards, be ready to speak out loud. Now, the sort of topic of today is that really a follow-up with the calls that I get. So a couple things. I get phone calls from people that schedule calls on our website. Always happy to help you there. But I get calls from people that are sort of overwhelmed with information. Then I get calls from people that have no idea. They never learned anything, and they tell me that. They say, Dustin, nobody ever taught me. Nobody ever taught me how this works. Nobody ever taught me how investing works. And sadly, I can't teach you either. That's what the videos are for here on YouTube. We cover all the basics, so by the time you might choose to work with us, or anybody really, when you come to us as an advisor, jazzWealth or some other company, that you're already you got the basics, you got the foundation ready, you know it's something you want to do, and you at least understand the basics. Now, from there, I will walk you forward. I'll make you a pro. I promise we will get you straight. But here's the thing. You can't say that it's a lack of information or that you weren't taught that's the reason you're financially paralyzed, right? Between YouTube, Facebook, all the different blogs and stuff that you can read, the information is out there, right? And the problem now is there's too much information. Specifically, what do we do with this information and not get overwhelmed by it? So kind of wanted to talk about that today. I wanted to talk about the questions you should be asking with that as far as it goes with your investing. And I want to ask you a question here when we get into that. Now, as far as specific information about budgeting, about investing, your savings, your Roth IRA, we actually got a great class coming up on June 9th, next weekend, where we're going to cover the exact specifics of everything. How much to spend on a house, how much to budget for a house, on a car, how do you go about buying a car, how do you go about financing a car. No opinions, just fact. We're going to teach you everything from all of that to retirement savings, emergency funds, you name it. We're going to cover all those big ticket things, show you exactly what to do so you don't have to go and research hours and hours and hours of how to do that. So if you want, join us for that. All of our customers will get an email shortly before the class begins. Now, here's how this works. You have a perception in your head about what investing is. You have some information, and that is how you're driving yourself forward. And in fact, you do that with everything else in your life. Go politics for a second. You either love or hate Donald Trump. Maybe you're indifferent, but you either love or hate him, and it's because of the information you're provided. Spend time on a certain television channel, you'll love him. Spend time on a different television channel, you might hate him, right? So that's politics. In the investing world, it's the exact same thing. Everyone wants to go towards index funds. Okay, not a problem, but why? Specifically, why? And the answer is fees. Well, is that the only reason you're investing? Is that what you do in the rest of your life? Do you go for the cheapest possible option with the iffiest possible return in the long run and just do one of them, right? So that's one thing. When it comes to investing specifically, there's one that you guys could probably guess. I get this all the time. I don't really know much about this guy. I've listened to an hour of his radio show in the car, and I got really agitated, actually. And from the phone calls I get from you guys, I know that Dave Ramsey tells you to split over 4 different mutual funds. So the question is, why? And every time someone calls and tells me, Dustin, can you do 25% growth, 25% international growth, and so on, I go, sure, but why? And the answer is always, well, because that's what Dave Ramsey says. And I go, well, that's great that that's what he says. He's a leading authority in this sort of sector of the world here, but why should you do that? Tell me why. And nobody has an answer. It's because you were told that and you were never told any differently. Now, not that that's a bad way to invest, but is it good enough for you? Is it specific enough for you? Probably not. You can do a lot better for your individual circumstance, or you may not need to take that level of risk. So that's the first thing. Now, are you ready? I'm going to ask you a couple questions. I got this one wrong. My wife just got this one wrong last night. And it's just something that stuck with me over the years because it really tells you how you think as a individual and as an investor. Ready? Here's the question. You just say it out loud wherever you're at. You just answer the question. I'm going to ask 2 questions here. The first one, what's the main color in a stop sign? Red, right? Main color is red. So if you said red, you got it right. What's the main color in a yield sign? Did you say yellow? If you said yellow, you're actually wrong. Most people say yellow because prior to 1971, yield signs were yellow. Now yield signs are all red. Every yield sign is red, but we still think yellow, even though I wasn't even born in 1971. I grew up with a yellow thought that a yield sign was yellow. And actually, if you go on Wikipedia, I did this just before we started here, Wikipedia shows a yellow yield sign. So if you Google search yield sign, you'll see a yellow one. But in reality, they're all red. They're the exact same color as a stop sign, right? So that thought in your head, you were never taught any differently, is because you never looked at it any differently. You are, right now, I'm telling you, you're going, "Nuh-uh, Dustin, yield signs are yellow. I know for a fact they're yellow." You might even see yellow when you start thinking of these yield signs, but in reality, they're red. So that's the way it is. So when it comes to your investing, there are questions you want to ask about the things that you already know. Is what you know already actually what you should be doing? So here's 3 questions. I want you to ask either your advisor. If I happen to be your advisor, go ahead and ask me, ask your family, whatever it is that whoever's helping you with your finances. Number 1, are you investing for your specific goals, not what others tell you to invest in? See, I don't tell you what to invest in. I give you my suggestion based on what is best for you. We start down that path, and if that path needs to change, I will change that path. But I'm not going to stick with one specific way for you to invest because that's what fits the most of the people that I talk to. Can't do it that way. What we do is specific to your goals. So I want you to ask your advisor. If you're managing your own account, take a minute and go look in there. If you have one index fund in your portfolio, whatever it may be, you're doing it wrong. I'm telling you right now, you're doing it wrong. You got to readjust that. Ask yourself if you're investing for your goals, not what other people tell you to do. Do you even know how to check to see if you're investing for your goals? So one of the things we do for all of our customers is we'll dig through their 401k. We'll look at it and say, what do you think your goal is? What do you think you're investing for, and what is your goal? And so we'll look at that and say, look, did you know you weren't even investing in the right way? You picked one single thing when these 2 could do much better, and we'll help them sort of dig through that. So that's the first question. If you need help with that, how to know what you're invested in, how to choose and everything, then certainly feel free to ask. But the second question, what account are certain investments in? This is getting a little geeky here, but if you have multiple accounts, then you don't just invest them all the same way, right? So I'll give you an example. If you have a 401k and maybe a taxable account that you started somewhere online, and maybe you have a Roth IRA with us, what's in the taxable account? That's always my first question. What investments do you have in the taxable account relative to your other ones? The most aggressive, the most risky investments always go in taxable accounts. Do you know why that is? Huh? If you put the most aggressive investments in your taxable account, most people would say, that doesn't make any sense, Dustin. We want those to grow tax-free. Put them in the taxable accounts because if there is a loss, you can write that off here in the short term. That may outweigh the benefit of putting them in a post-tax account. So think about that, right? What fits best for you? For someone else, it may be more beneficial to put it in a Roth IRA because they have a bigger chunk of that in their Roth IRA. But make sure that the right investments are in the right account for you particularly, not generally. So don't take anything for general advice, very specific to your goals. And the third question that I'll ask you is, do the investments in your portfolio match your risk, right? So you want to ask that question. You might have said, oh, Mr. Dave Ramsey, you said I should buy these 4 mutual funds, which, by the way, he doesn't tell you exactly which ones to buy. So be very careful because some of those are very, very costly. But you might have chosen those 4 mutual funds, went out on your own and found them and picked them. Now tell me, how much risk are you taking? Is it relative to your position in life? If you're in your 20s, you're not taking enough risk. If you're in your 50s, late 50s, you're taking way too much risk, okay? So keep in mind that he makes that suggestion because it fits the broad base of his audience. It does not fit each one individually, okay? I actually thought about doing one for ETFs and saying, you invest in this ETF, this one, this one, this one, and this one. But unfortunately, I would get in a lot of trouble if I were to recommend individual stock picks or exchange-traded funds to the general public because of what's known as the suitability rule, and I don't want to get in trouble. So, no, the thing that I want to wrap up with here is be sure that you know the risk you're taking, okay? If the markets fall 10%, how much are you going to lose? Can you answer that question with your 401k, with your Roth IRA, with whatever account you have? Can you answer the question, if the markets fell 10% tomorrow, how much would you lose? See, at Jazz, we actually today, after the market closes, I will update every one of our customers. I send a video that says, if you're in this portfolio, here's what happened. Here's how we're moving with the market, either beating the market, slightly behind it, or very conservative. I go through it one by one. So you need to know these things because I'm telling you right now, the market is not in the best of positions. If you search through the market, all the stocks, all through the S&P and the Dow, you're noticing that things are starting to get a little heavy in the markets. So if that's the case and the markets fall 20% over the next 2 years, hypothetically, if they fell 20% over the next 2 years, how much do you stand to lose in your portfolio? It's not rocket science. It's very simple to take a look and go, okay, I'll be down 18%. Can I handle that? Yeah, I'm 35 or whatever you are. You can handle that, no problem. But you don't want to be shocked, okay? You don't want the markets to fall 20%. You're down 24% and you can't figure out why, okay? So always make sure that you have the right investments for your risk tolerance. All right, that's all I have for you. Happy Friday, everybody. I just wanted to do this live. We're going to start doing this every day, every weekday. We're going to do this at 1 o'clock. I think I'm going to call the segment Making Sense. And we're going to do something every day to teach you about your money, investments, give you some tips like we're doing here. Just want to keep coming to you left and right because I kind of think that this channel is a good source of information. Sometimes it is general. Sometimes it's very specific. Whatever I can get to help you guys based on your suggestions, I'm going to put out there. If you like what you see, please hit the subscribe button. Helps us out a lot. And of course, if you're thinking about our budgeting class, I hope you'll check out our website. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon. See, the problem with budgeting is all of the financial gurus out there, all of the blogs just give you general advice, get you all pumped up to go budget, and then you get going and you have no idea where to start. Let's talk about the big ticket items that can financially ruin you if you don't know how much to spend and how much to budget on them. Emergency funds, retirement savings, this is a class about specifics. We are not going to motivate you. I am not going to inspire you. I'm going to educate you on exactly what you need to do with your budget, with these big ticket items and the big portions of your budget so that you and your family never stress about budgeting your money again. If you sign up before June 8th, then we're giving you lifetime access to Nest Egg, our personal financial portal where you can get your dough straight. Everything in your financial life, including your budget, can be seen on this portal. And best of all, we do not sell your information like Mint or some of the other apps. It is 100% yours, customizable to you. Again, if you want to be motivated, you want to be inspired, then this is not the class for you. If you want details and specifics about what to do the second you finish with this class, well, then I hope to see you there.